Hello, everybody. My name's Dave Thompson, and it's my pleasure to be here with the main man, King Kelvin Holliday. How you doing today, Kel?
Mate, I am fighting fit. Look out.
Look at him. Look at him. I almost want to ask for a gun flex, but we might say
There you
that. There it is. Love it. Love it. Love it. Guys,
Feeling awesome, man.
Kel has been on such a journey with his weight loss, and that's kind of tied in with his book writing journey as well. And today I just want to sit down with Kel for a few minutes and find out a bit more into the inner workings of how that journey's unfolded. Kel is he's a soon-to-be 3-time author with a couple more books on the way. His books so far, Unleash the Future of You and Unleash the Future of Leadership, both Amazon bestsellers, both launched about this time last year, Kel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, mate, that was an experience and a half, that's for sure. So.
Indeed. And if you guys can just look, the man that you see on that cover is not the man that you see right there. He's been on quite a journey. And yeah, the book journey has been part of that. So that's what I wanted to chat about today, Kel. Maybe you could, first of all, for the people that are watching this, just give us a little bit of an idea of when you started the book. Like, we first made contact, last August or so? Maybe 15, 18 months ago.
Right.
Where were you at? What were you doing? What was life like then?
So life was insanely busy. And so running 7 multi-million-dollar companies, and getting into that space of just the drudgery of, the day-to-day sort of workings of doing business. And my health was just, down the toilet. And so it was all about what I was producing, and it was about the growth of the business, and I was suffering. And so I basically put myself second to try and create a future, and I was pretty much smacked in the chops and said, hey, hang on a second, what's the use of building a business future if you don't have your health? So that was a real wake-up call that I had. Actually, a wake-up call I got in July, just before we'd had a conversation about, the possibility of book writing. So.
Okay, cool. So it was this time of, as they say in the hero's journey, the hero becomes discontent with his current circumstances, and you were looking for new. I'm just wondering how long had you wanted to write your book for? Had it been a thing that had been on your mind for years or months, or was it kind of tied up with, did it just kind of hit you as you started this new weight loss journey?
The first book that Unleash the Future of You, the first one, the blue one, the leadership.
Yes.
Yeah, the leadership one. That was, I actually call that probably my head. And so that was in my head, and I'd actually started to try and write that for like 3 years.
Right.
And I started it and started it. And it was all in here. It was all what I'd call, a lot of people call the intellectual property. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't me. It was sort of like just a part of me. It was the analytical, non-creative, non-fun. And so when I come on the retreat to write the Future of You, I really discovered that one. And we got so I finished off that, I really got the head part right, but it was the journey of the heart. And so that one really, I decided just to go on the retreat to unleash what was inside of here, inside of me, rather than just that analytical leadership, teamwork sort of thing. And that was the beginning of truly unleashing something that's been bottled up inside me for probably since I was a kid.
Wow. And so I just want to explore that a little bit more, if it's okay, Kel. Like, you'd start, so just let me get this right. You'd started the weight loss journey about July. I think we spoke in August. You said that you had this, the leadership book, which was more of a logical head thing that was bubbling around. Before you came on retreat, what were you thinking to yourself? Like, was there any trepidation there? What was where was your head and body and mind and soul at with that?
I just started this weight loss journey, and I call it weight was I think the byproduct. I actually started this. It was more of a mindset. I actually started this journey of discovery, and yeah. So the leadership stuff was what I was doing, but it wasn't who I was. And so by getting my health going, it cleared the fog, really did. And like while I was analytical, I actually discovered who I really was, and that was an amazing event. And on the retreat, when I come there, I was still coming there with that analytical, let's get this job done. And it was like I was hit between the eyes with, holy crap, I've got a lot of baggage here that I need to deal with. And so the future you become a real, mate, it was a pretty damn intense week. And the week or two just leading up to it, as we mapped out the book, and those couple of conversations and mapping it out and going, and I could feel something was happening. Wasn't exactly sure what until I started to type the keys. And I'd made a real conscious decision that when I got there, I didn't want to have anything written. I just wanted to have that framework and to ponder and reflect and to start to collect up the stories in my head that would actually, but I just wanted to actually just immerse myself at the retreat. And I did. And it was quite profound.
Do you think that, was it a surprise to you that, you'd said yes to these books, presumably, yes to the journey of coming on the retreat and publishing with us, and presumably, for the business benefits of that, the credibility, the authority, the positioning, the number one Amazon credibility, that sort of thing. And then from the get-go at the book map session, which is the framework you were talking about, all this stuff, was that surprising that was happening in what was probably a thinking it'd be a different process?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Again, it was that transition between trying to build this personal profile. That's what I was, in some respects, from a business point of view, I was being coached to become an authority. So that's why I signed up to actually go, let's go and do this retreat and actually just get this job done, which is that leadership book. And so that's what made me start the process. But once I got into the process, I went, there's a lot more to this, that it started to evolve. And I guess that was one of the key parts of the retreat for me. It allowed me to be me. And allowed me to, and like the evolution that happened in that, it was only a couple of days, but mate, it was like, and I've shared some of this stuff with you before. It was amazing. It was truly. So I got totally out of my head, and I got right into the heart, and I got into who I was, and that was just the tip. That was really the catalyst. And there was that the session we had there out in the front balcony. Wow, that was just. Yeah, that was sensational. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that. So many good conversations on that balcony. And so this transformative thing, effect, you hadn't necessarily anticipated that as being part of it. How important do you think that transformational effect was? Or actually, let me ask a different question. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about you said you learned about yourself that week. Maybe you could share a little about what you did learn about yourself, like what was uncovered. How did that kind of play out?
So I think when you get a space that you can actually open up, and I actually done that within, and I felt safe and secure, and I could actually put something down. And we know when we write something and we do something, we start to unpack it. And so I actually discovered that for a long time I was driven by external influence rather than my own personal passion. And that was the key piece. And in this third book, I go right into that. I go right into the core of, I didn't know what it was at that first retreat, writing The Future of You. I was in the middle of the unleashing process, I suppose. It wasn't until I actually just, from the retreat there a couple of months back and writing that third book that I had actually realized exactly what, a lot of people say it's your why, like the Simon Sinek thing is your why or your passion. Like I go to a very much a higher position than that. I say it's my calling.
Yes. Wow.
And that first retreat back last year helped me to understand that I was actually called to do something different than what I was actually doing.
Wow.
So that's the impact it had. It was like, holy crap, Kel, you've spent 50 odd years of your life doing this thing, and it's not who you are. I went, bugger. and it would have been really easy to go, well, I've just wasted 50 plus years of my life.
Yeah.
But the retreat went, no, that was 50 plus years of experiences to bring me to that realization. And that's what the retreat done. It was just that space that I could say, I can actually be me now.
Yes.
And so that journey between last year's September, October, what it was, and this last retreat has been a year of me totally rediscovering who I am, what impact I can make. Because I've always wanted to make an impact. I've always wanted to help people. It's who I am.
Yes.
And so I've been always doing that, but I'm doing it really differently now. It's the same thing. It's still about leadership. It's still about teamwork. It's still about helping people. But the framework around that, wow, how 12 months can change a life.
And from what I can see, it's coming from deep within you now. It's coming from your heart. It's coming from your full being, rather than being like, I remember seeing a photo of you with glasses on or something, like in a suit on a stage, and it just looked a bit more heady.
Absolutely. And look, that's, when you say leadership, and, I'm a team builder, I'm a leadership, I'm an author, to me, the mental picture of that was the suit, the tie, that was my 50-year-old brain and experiences influencing the way in which I should be thinking instead of being me. Now, I'm probably at a heart, and this is one of the things I go through is at the heart, I'm a freaking builder, mate. Like, I'm a blockhead, and I'm comfortable in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. And I went, well, why can't I just be me? And so I can, conform, so to speak, and fit in, but I don't have to, totally, I like the idea of this transformation. Why be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and now I've been living by that.
That's awesome, Kel. I can just feel it just going rah, like this.
Very cool.
So can you tell me a little, you're saying how the books and the retreat because for those watching, Kel joined us October of 2017 and September of 2018.
Right.
And in September of 2018, your new book, Unleash the Diamond in the Rough, that'll be coming out soon. You might have seen the pre-launch if you've been following Kel's page. But those first two books, I'm hearing that they were a real transition point for you. So I'm just wondering about and I often see this with books, is people write the book and it opens up the door to the next level for them. It opens up a new direction, a new way of being. So I just wonder, what was it that opened up for you after those books started to come out?
It's, mate, the last 12 months, would make most people's head spin, still making my head spin. So sold out all the companies. I've been on an absolute mission to get rid of the clutter.
Wow. So you changed direction. From what you're doing.
Still at the core, I still say that the core of me is, how do I help people and build? That's who I am. Yes. All right. That's the core purpose of my, if you think about vision or mission, that's my mission, is to how do I actually empower people, educate people, enrich people's lives, accelerate product, all those sort of things. I still stand at core for that, but the mechanism to do that is completely different. And so instead of having I had a training company, an Archie Average training organization, as you see, of a training organization, you become a bureaucracy of, I'm sitting all day signing pieces of paper. That's not me. I'm a people person, love getting out and chatting. I'm probably already tipping that. I'm talking away here. but I love to talk. You know, that's just who I am, and I can actually now embrace who I am. Yeah, so I've done a lot more reading and become involved in the weight loss community.
Yes.
And that, and I say this in the latest book, Unleash the Diamond in the Rough. I realised back when I was a kid, I actually wanted to be a doctor, you know, or a physio or something in that. I was really big on sport, but you know, with having dyslexia and not being able to read, you know, I couldn't really read properly until I was 30. You know, so you go through that sort of battle in life. There's a mental shift that I wasn't good enough to be able to do what I wanted to do.
And yet here's 2 books and another on the way. So
that's exactly right. So, you know, and being able to be, you know, I was recognised, you know, 2 years in a row in the top 10 leaders in the world at what I did.
Wow.
So that was the academic part.
Yes.
Meant nothing until now, because now I'm actually working in this, how do I actually help people? And at the core, I'm actually helping people with their health, you know, and wow, what a way to do it.
Wow.
It's been a big transition. So it's still, of course, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm just doing it with a different mechanism.
Yes, like a different vehicle, and it sounds like it's a more true vehicle for you.
Absolutely, it's right here, and it's just, I'm super passionate about it, and yeah, like to give you an idea, like this is, I digress just a little bit, and I apologise, but my family, like when you're a leader, people follow, and like I was leading my family. I'd become morbidly obese, and my family moved with me. Now I turned that around. It took a bit of time, but my family's lost 1/4 of a ton in 12 months. Like 250 kilos in 12 months as a family.
Wow.
Now it took me to be the leader of my family to actually do that. You know, and so you make that profound impact on your immediate family, and then you take that, you spread that into the world. Like there's hundreds of people we're coaching at the moment through this, and it's just wow. Like you see it every day, you know, like people losing weight and more. It's the weight is one thing, but they're regaining their life.
Yes.
And I'm going, that's who I am. That's what this is about.
I love that. I love that, you know, and I don't think I fully appreciated the profound impact that these books had on your change of direction until perhaps just a little earlier this year when we caught up over the winter, and you were telling me about how you'd moved into this new vehicle to deliver your calling, and how much success you were having in it. And like you were telling me about how you were progressing so fast, and I was really blown away. And I think it speaks a lot to how when you find what's true, life just unfolds, and the grace and ease and the manifestation power and the speed of results just goes just like that.
Absolutely. And look, I've put, yes, there's effort in it, but it's ease. You know, you build a business when it's done and it's just hard all the time. You build something that's easy and it comes easy. There's a whole new, you know, and you're really your core, and understanding who you are and what you are and what you're about. Wow, it is easy. Like I could do this every hour, every day, and go to bed satisfied every single day. You know, it's just there's very few things that bug me anymore. So that's cool.
That's awesome, Kel. And maybe you could just speak a little about like the doors that your books have opened, you know, like with this new opportunity, because I know you were telling me how there's been some speaking gigs and these sorts of opportunities have opened up as a result of the books. What's been happening there?
Yep. So I've had a chance to speak on a couple of different stages, some pretty big ones. Like I had a chance over last year over in over the Philippines, speaking with a guy by the name of Dale Beaumont. That was pretty special. And so you get to speak on those sort of stages and take your thinking. All right, it's just open up those doors. But there's been some other stages. There's a group called Network 21. You know, they are probably, from my opinion, you know, I've been around a lot of leadership seminars, bits and pieces, but I've had a chance to speak just a couple of times on those sort of stages, only a couple of minutes at a time. But I just know that door is opening, and you know, and I just, you know, I'm set my heart and goal on, you know, being able to do that a lot more. I'm off in next year, later on next year, to, you know, do some more stuff over in New Zealand. So we've been able to take this into New Zealand and really give it a real good nudge.
Wow.
So a lot of people's lives over in New Zealand already. And so, yeah, so internationally, so from a, you know, again, the books have opened up the head, but more importantly, the heart sort of stuff to come out, and it's start to really make a huge difference. So.
Oh, I love the velocity that you're getting. It's just like, oh, it's here and it's here and it's here and it's here. That's so great. It really is indicative of being on the path, I think. So, Kel, you've been through the book writers process a couple of times now. For people watching this, maybe they're sitting on the fence. They're wondering, do I have a story in me? Am I worthy? Do I have enough good stuff to put in a book? What would you say to them?
I'll coin my own phrase, mate.
Yes.
Leave your crap behind, people. Because the reality is, if you're getting fed information that says that you're not worthy, that's the crap in your life. That's an external influence, because every person has got value, and every single person's story is worth telling. Because it's like, when I actually launched the books, I was thinking business wise, but the amount of feedback I got from people saying, thanks, you know, you've actually helped me to get out of a hell of a hole. You know, you're getting those sort of responses. You go, wow, I'm actually making a difference in that person's life, and in that person's life, and in that person's life. My story is nothing special in my opinion. However, it's not until you actually speak it and somebody else gets the impact, you actually realize how valuable it is. So, John Maxwell, a lot of us know John Maxwell. You know, he was actually in a podcast the other day, and he was just saying how important it is to tell your story. The power of story, and you don't know who you're going to affect and inspire and everything like that. So, if you don't tell your story, you're probably doing the world a disservice rather than rather than doing it. So I'd encourage anybody to give it a crack. It is just worth it. And if nothing else, it helps you get out of your head and into who you are to really discover what you're about.
Love that. Well, Kel, is there anything else I guess I want to ask a bit of a question about like what the future holds and just kind of a bit of is there any final thoughts that you would have for people out there?
Look, I guess for me, this journey, without it, I don't know where I would have been. I probably would have been in the drudgery of kept on going through the same old. This was definitely a major pivotal point for me. And I think for most people I've talked to have gone through that process. A lot of people, you know, I've stayed in a relationship through the Book Writers Retreat, and other people I've met as a part of that. Like, this has been a pivotal piece, either in the growth of their business or the growth of them personally, or it's a major piece or a major shifter. And it's worth every bit of time, energy, resource that you can put into it. So that would be probably the first thing. There's a lot of places out there you can do this with, and I've referred obviously a lot into Dave, but it is the retreat environment when you just get away, because a lot of people try and do this themselves, and I did for a long time, and it wasn't until I actually just chomped out that time and got into it. But yeah, look, everything is worth it. It's really easy to say it now. I'm on the other side, and a lot of people. I heard that a lot. But if you can just get out and do it, it'll make a difference. I know it will.
Awesome, Kel. Awesome. Thank you so much for your kind words. And guys, I just want to share with the audience watching this, if they want to follow your journey, Kel, if they want to find out more about, you know, the weight loss journey, what's the best place for them to start to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so kelvinholiday.com. Yeah, it's a page. It's never going to be a page about, you know, how good I am. It's always going to be how can I actually serve and help. And so that one, you know, look me up on Facebook. You'll see the whole thing there. Yeah, sometimes it gets a little bit difficult. I'm at capacity as far as my weight loss, as far as my friends on Facebook. But send us a message on Facebook. It's generally the easiest way to see it. You can stalk me, go for your life, stalk away. But yeah, kelvinholiday.com or kel@transformgroup.com.au. You know, send me an email. Happy to help out with anybody.
Awesome. And of course, they can go to Amazon and get your books. And soon, your third book, soon to be released, Unleash the Diamond in the Rough.
Yep, that's not too far off at all.
Love it, Kel. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Thank you for sharing your experience and your wisdom and what you took from it. And may you continue to unleash awesome at even greater levels henceforth.
Yeah. Maybe in Hawaii soon. We'll see what happens.
Oh, mate, I would love to have you there.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, Kel. Cheers, my man.